Hello all. So this is just me a quick overview of the literature review, the short essay number 2. So essentially this is going to be building off your first one. So if you go back to your first essay number 1, where about your research topic and whatever topic you're interested in, this one is to go a little bit deeper and look into some resources online to talk about your argument. So one, you're going to go get general information on your topic, and two, be able to back up your argument and talk about the other opposing argument if it's there. So for example, if you're interested in talking about the Salton Sea's toxicity or pollution, you might want to find arguments of why the pollution is a problem, and maybe also the argument why people think it might not be as big of an issue as possible. You could also talk about things like homelessness is the example we used in the beginning of the semester. So if you're interested in homelessness specifically in the city or town where you're from, you might look up some articles. It could be from a local newspaper, it could be online about the topic locally, or even more broadly, nationally, how this is affecting us nationally. Maybe homelessness is linked with poverty or job loss and unemployment. Okay, so requirements of this, essentially, it should be in addition to your first essay. One, you'll need to write a minimum of 300 words. Two, you want to include at least 3 sources. And 3, have them properly cited. So I have a few links here you could check out as far as finding literature and citations. There's a whole page here. If you click on this first one, it basically goes through an example of how you would find citations. And so if we were to go through this one, there's actually the first link on here gives you a little bit of help with how to cite things. So if I click on here, it would work on your external website, but basically it's a citation helper. You'd enter your website in there and it would help you format it. Or you could use any sort of citation you want. As far as I'm concerned, as long as it's cited, it's okay. I'll go through this example real quick. So for instance, if I was searching the Salton Sea is toxic, I put this in the search bar and I found these websites, for instance. So one of them about the New York Times, an editorial about the Salton Sea. I basically then would go through and review this website. I'd scroll through and find some interesting things and summarize it. And I would do this for each one of these things. These are just happening to be the first 3 articles that I found online. So going through each one of these. And it basically, as you're pulling them up, you'd want to be looking for main topics, main issues that they're looking at, and keep track of what their overall argument is and how it fits together with the others. So for this one's talking about air pollution, and I believe it's talking also too about how the asthma rates are highest in areas around the Salton Sea than other parts of the country. So, for example, if I put this together in an intro, I would say something that the Salton Sea is one of California's largest internal bodies of water and is in danger of drying up. I have a little citation here, the New York Times editorial board. The drying sea is not only a nuisance with a noticeable smell, but is toxic. Levenko, another citation. The toxicity has led to higher levels of asthma in the Imperial Valley and one of the highest in the state of California. James and Roth. The health of the environment is not only important for the planet, but for the health of the community as well. So, for instance, then I'd be pulling in different citations from here. So this is what your works cited would look like. And you try to get into some format that looks like this. I'm not super picky on what format you use. I just want it to be clearly labeled in alphabetical order. So here's actually an example from one of the students. It's actually here at the bottom. And this is from their final paper, so this is what they put together throughout the term. So they put together the 2 parts, which I'll go into the next part, is this one's about the topic of marriage. So here you can see that the student was talking about marriage, and they had at least 3 citations here about what people are saying about the topic. And they go into the second part here, which is we'll be covering the 3rd essay. But getting you an idea of what it looks like to have proper citations, references in the back, and what that could look like. So this is a completed one from someone who did a really good job on this. Okay, so let's go back. So there's also a link to a final essay. So if you were to look at this one, it has a full article of what the full final paper will look like. So let's take a look at to get you an idea of overall what we're moving towards, but not important for this particular essay. I will be looking at this one as far as grading goes. Minimum word count, 300 words. I will be checking to see if you have a minimum of 3 sources and a properly formatted citation page. One of the most important sections here is this last part, clear explanation of the background of your topic. I basically just want a clear argument as to what your topic's about, and it could be kind of any sort of argument. I'm just looking for the idea that you looked at other articles, were able to summarize them and put them into your own words. So if you go further down again, we have our criteria. So this is exactly what you'll be graded on. So when I go through the papers, I'll be checking you off if you got the minimum word count, the work source, the works cited, properly formatted cited page. And the most points down here, as you can see, is a clear explanation of how it talks about the background of your topic for a total of 15 points. So go ahead and start working on this and turn it in. And if you have any questions, we can meet and talk about that.